So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hope that you are all doing well and staying safe. I want to welcome you all to today's session, and I want to thank EPEX, the Egyptian Petroleum Exploration Society, for their collaboration, and I want to welcome all EPEX members who are tuning in today. Our webinar today is about the geopolitical story of the East Mediterranean discoveries and the role to make Egypt an energy hub. This session will be presented by two special guest speakers from Egypt, Mr. Samir Abdelmoaty and Dr. Ahmed Abdel Fattah. So please join me in welcoming them. So welcome Dr. Abdelmoaty, Mr. Abdelmoaty and Dr. Ahmed Abdel Fattah. We are pleasure to have you with us today. Our session will begin by an introduction about Al-Amal program by Mr. Abdelmoaty. So Mr. Abdelmoaty is the country manager of the United Oil and Gas Egypt, and he is a visiting lecturer at Alexandria University, Ain Shams University, and Mansoura University. And he's the co-founder of Al-Amal program. Mr. Abdelmoaty worked for various oil and gas companies, including Gulf of Suez Petroleum Company, Petroleum Geoservices, British Petroleum, and Tatawur Petroleum Services. Moreover, he served as a board member at the Society of Petroleum Exploration Geophysicists, where he received the SEG Life Member and Honorary Membership Awards. Currently, he is the chairman of the Egyptian Geophysical Society and a board member of EPEX and the American Association of Petroleum Geologists and a member at the Society of Petroleum Engineers, and finally the Arab Mining and Petroleum Association. In addition, he is a board member of the National Institute of Geophysics and Astronomy and a board member of the Council of Faculty of Science at Ain Shams University between 2015 and 2020. Finally, Mr. Abdelmoaty holds a Bachelor in Science in Physics and Geology from Cairo University since 1971 and a Master's in Science in Geophysics from Al-Azhar University. Before handing the mic over to Mr. Abdelmoaty, I want to remind you that if you have any question related to the technical content of the presentation, please feel free to drop it down in the Q&A section and keep the chat box professional and ethical. And now, without further ado, Mr. Abdelmoaty, the mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Mariam. And thanks for the Arab Oil and Gas Academy for inviting me and Dr. Ahmed Fattah to introduce me to the Academy. And it's my pleasure to talk to you about Al-Amal program, which a program actually I'm very proud of. And it's I put in whatever I can to have this program continue for the next several years. The program is actually, we will talk very quickly on why we had this program, why we initiated this program back in 2007 and continue till now. We had about 12 rounds so far every year. And then I'll talk about the contents of the program, we call it the modules of the program, and how we are selecting the attendees to attend the program. Then I just will walk very quickly through the journey of Al-Amal, and we'll talk about the special edition of Al-Amal, which is Al-Amal 12, which is this year. Actually, tomorrow, we are going to start the phase 2 of Al-Amal 12, which I'll talk about it in a second. And then I'll talk about some of the sponsorship and some of the activities which we do at the end of the program, which we call it the award day or the graduation day. So let me start with why we had Al-Amal. Back in 2007, most of the companies, especially in the United States and Europe, they were suffering from the lack of engineers and geoscientists. All the students finishing in the high schools go to the business universities. Everybody wants to be another Bill Gates. Everybody wants to work in the exchange just to make money quickly. And also the IT. At that time, the IT business and the business itself were booming. And of course, nobody wants to just get his hands dirty, work in the oil business, which is the image that most of the people have about the oil business. And here in Egypt, we had lots of geoscientists, lots of engineers, very good educated, but they couldn't find the opportunity to work in these multinational companies. And while that, we looked at our graduates, which I believe personally that we have very good education. Maybe some people will not agree with me on this, but I believe that we have very good education. Lots of sciences studied. I mean, lots of science given to the students. So, but when they come out of the university, they have studied lots of geoscience, petrophysics, geophysics, geochemistry, stratigraphy, paleontology, lots of sciences. But I believe we found that the issue is how to integrate these different geoscience disciplines together. They are very good in each of these, but how can they integrate this, what they learned at the university in the real world? I believe that was the issue. So we thought about, okay, let us design a program that can fill this gap between the academia and the industry, and just trying to show the graduates what are the companies expected from them. When they join any company, what is expected from them? So we had a program design with focus on some of the technical sessions given by experts from the companies, experts from the industry. I mean, they already have done with their professors, but now we are bringing experts from the oil industry like Dr. Ahmed Al-Fattah and other colleagues, giving them some of the technical session on how we are using what they have learned in the university in our daily work. Also, we focus on soft skills. If you are familiar, most of the Egyptian universities don't focus much about soft skills, which in these days, if you don't have these soft skills, I don't think that you will succeed in any of the industries. Plus English, we know we have problems with our English. I mean, you can notice from my English is not that good. So we are suffering from, or we are having an issue with our English language. So we are giving a course, a special course in English language by a professional provider, like BIRDS, like AUC in Cairo. This year we have an O2O, which I'll talk about it in a minute. Plus, we like to show them real work. So we take them to visit some of the companies, exploration companies like Shell, BP, Apache, others, and also some of the technology providers like Schlumberger, Halliburton, Weatherford, and others. Not only that, but also we take them to the field, either to visit a rig site or a seismic acquisition crew, or we'll go to the outcrop in the mountains just to show them how we are observing and interpreting what we see in the field. At the end of the project, at the end of the program, we give them a real hands-on project with seismic data, well log data, and interpretation, and they do it by themselves with the coaching of some of the senior staff. So they do it from scratch till the end, even with some little bit economics at the end, evaluation, commercial evaluation at the end of the program. So actually they are doing a real asset evaluation project, which will give them the real experience on what the companies are doing well. On top of that, of course, we started always with safety. HSE is a big component of the program because of its importance in our industry. That's how the program is filled. So we're trying to fill this gap. Now they are ready to join the industry. They are now know how to integrate what they have learned at the universities to be able to use it in the industry. We tried, and I believe that we succeeded to some extent. Our graduates are marketed very well. Lots of them have been hired by multinational oil companies, by technology providers, lots of them. Of course, at the first 4 or 5 rounds, they were just hired in no time. Recently, of course, in the last 2-3 years, we still have a problem with hiring because, as you know, the market is not well enough. I mean, the health of the industry is not well enough. So there are some of them already hired, some of them are still looking for opportunities. Our role is just to help them to get ready, but our role doesn't involve to hire them or to guarantee to hire them. It's up to them. So the 5 modules, which is a program focused on, which is the technical sessions mainly by experts from the industry, soft skills, real examples, real exercises on soft skills. We brought some of the professionals to teach them or to show them some of the soft skills like meeting skills, like communication skills, personal skills, emotional intelligence. You will see some of these later on. And then the English course, of course, which I talked about, and some of the external activities like field trips and visits, and also the practical project at the end. We have grown for the last 12 rounds from 20 students or 20 graduates from 4 universities in 2007. And we were consistent on about 40 graduates every year, but the number of universities increased every year. This year, because it's a special year, and I'll talk about why it's special, we have 120 attendees. But our norm was 40. Only 1 year we had 60 attendees to test our abilities. Of course, we are very limited in resources, and we like to succeed. So that's why we are limited to the numbers. But this year we had 120 attendees from 22 universities, which is a record for the last 12 years. How we are selecting our attendees to attend the program? The program, of course, as you may know, it's free for them. It's free for all attendees because all the instructors, all the coaches, all the mentors are volunteers. All the organizers of the program are volunteers. So we are paying only for the English course because that's a special, professional provider, paying for some of the transportation, some of the catering, but we don't pay anyone any money. So that's why the attendees don't pay any money to the Egyptian Geophysical Society. We call the universities, and this year we call the 25 universities who have graduates this year from Aswan in the south to Port Said in the north. We asked for the top 10 graduates from each department, from each university. So usually we have like 500, 550 nominations. And as you can see here, all the universities are represented in this. Then, of course, we cannot take the 500 or 550, so we'll have an online test. It's about 45 minutes test, very condensed, very fast test, just to filter these 500 or so to the number which you are requiring. We used to have, after this online test, we used to have an assessment of the guys and just to select the 40. So the assessment was to give them a case study, to work on it in a team, 5 of them, don't know each other before, and come up with a problem solving of this case study. But this year we didn't have that. We have the online test, and we selected the 120 out of 362 who attended the online test. The 550 includes some graduates who already have military service, so they don't join the test, or some others don't like to attend the program. So we selected 120, and you can see the numbers here from each of the universities and the success ratio or the success number for each of the universities. We focus very much on diversity. Diversity on universities from, as I said, from Aswan to Port Said, all the universities in Egypt. Diversity in departments. We have geology, geophysics, geochemistry, petroleum geophysics, petroleum geology, all the disciplines, focusing on gender also, male and female. So we try to accommodate this diversity in our team selection. So whenever we form a team, we make sure that this team has the diversity issue addressed. So The program, as I said, started in 2007, only 20 attendees. So we used to do it at EGS in our headquarters in EGS, which is very small. And then we used GBC, Agiba, and other Tharwa for the program. We started, of course, as you can see here, in 2007 till maybe 2010, we used to work manually on paper maps, paper seismic section, paper blogs, and then we moved to the digital world by the generous sponsorship of Shell, providing us with 4 workstations, which are in our headquarters of EGS. So this year is a challenge. And we thought about it for so many, for a long time, are we going to have Al-Amal 12 or not because of the COVID-19? So COVID-19, of course, social distancing, everybody, the risk involved with it. Also, it was very limited opportunities for jobs. The market is very tight. No company hiring this year or so, or most of the companies don't hire this year. We have limited reach, just how can we reach these universities and also our limited resources. So what we did for COVID-19, all right, we decided to do it online, which is the first time to do this program online. And alhamdulillah, was very successful to have it online with a lot of challenges, a lot of hard work behind the scenes. The oil industry is very limited with opportunities, so we added mining, hydrology, engineering, lots of other disciplines to the program. Then limited resources, we have 110 delegates rather than the 40 delegates every year. Actually, it's 120. And then the Al-Amal website was built, was designed to serve the Al-Amal 12 this year. We had lots of IT issues. I don't think that we have the time to talk about it, but it's really was very hard to reach where we are today. The program was divided in 2 phases. Phase 1 was a technical session, the English course, the N Explorer workshop by Shell. The phase 2, which will start late tonight, actually the opening, and start the project tomorrow, which is a graduation project. We were thinking about a field camp, but with COVID-19 still continue, we canceled that, or we deferred it actually, and the virtual visits also we deferred. Lots of efforts behind the scene, and all is done by senior Amalians, the Amalians from Al-Amal 1 and Al-Amal 2 and so on. They did all the work by themselves. They are helping each other. We believe in gain and give. That's our slogan, gain and give. We learn something, and that's actually for us. Very old guys, we learn from our pioneers, from our supervisors, our mentors. And that's how we like to give back what we have learned from our superiors. This year, we had, every one of the delegates had about 128 sessions, means 312.5 hours. Each one of them, including technical sessions, including English, including the N Explorer workshop. As I said, always we start with HSE, with safety, and then some of the oil gas sessions, including everything from seismic to well logging, petroleum economics, volumetrics, everything. We just had the studies on petroleum, and we added this year for the first time the mining industry. As you may just hear about, mining industry is booming for the next few years, and they were looking for graduates to be hired. And that's actually from the officials that they are looking for graduates to be hired in the next 5 years, maybe hundreds of them. So that's why we try to coordinate with some of the mining experts in the field of mining, and they came and helped us with some of their sessions, from the mining law to the mining workflow to the field mapping, everything about mining. And we had experts actually, and it was very, very good for us. It's new to us. It was very good. Not only that, but we added where we are right now. Everybody talking about machine learning, data science, geostatistics, big data. So we brought some of the experts on each of these fields. Remote sensing, we actually brought the chairman of the Remote Sensing Authority the former president of the Remote Sensing Authority, hydrology, archaeology. We invited people from NRIAG, the National Research Institute of Geophysics and Astronomy, to talk about how they are using geophysics in archaeology, and so on. Then the soft skills I talked about, that's from team working, which is we actually emphasized a lot on team working. If you don't work in a team, you cannot work in any of the companies. So presentation skills, meeting skills, leadership skills, emotional intelligence. And then we brought the guy from Houston, from the States, to talk about personal branding, how to brand yourself, and so on. So lots of soft skills in the program, including the Shell Explorers workshop. It's a workshop that's provided by Shell and designed and provided by Shell to teach how to think about complex problem. If you have a complex problem, how you will think about it. You will not jump to conclusion to solve it immediately. No, you have to study the problem, explore it, and just create some options and then start the change. That's pillars of the Explorer. Explore, create, and change. Through several modules, and it was very interactive. Each team will select a problem that he or she or the team itself knows about it. A problem in his village, a problem in his country, a problem about the environment, a problem about safety, a problem about energy, water, whatever the problem that affects its society, they will take it and analyze it and try to reach a solution. Field trips, of course, this year we didn't have any field trips, but that's what we used to do in the previous version of Al-Amal. And visits to oil companies and surface companies. Then the English course this year, O2O, one-to-one provider. They are specialized in online training. And they had several modules of the online training and gave lots of help to the attendees. Then, of course, other activities just to have fun. Well, Amal got talents and other activities also in this. What I'm saying about the behind-the-scene efforts to design the communication system, to select the platform, to have this workstation and to use it online. I mean, we have servers now at EGS headquarters. We have another server in Riyadh, in Halwan, and people from their homes can access these servers and do the interpretation and do the mapping and do everything about the project. It was huge efforts to do that. I mean, now we have, I think, 12 machines in workstations connected to the servers, and each team will have access to this one. That's the teams who are working. We have divided the current 56 people to 56 attendees in phase 2 to six teams. And we have several advisors and facilitators helping them. And all of this will be done with the help of experts, professionals from all the industries. So many names, experts in their fields are helping us. Then at the end, we celebrate, usually, I mean, this year we celebrated also online, but we used to have a celebration, award day, invited the general manager of the companies. Several times the minister attended, either, I mean, Minister Turab or Minister Tariq attended some of our celebrations to recognize the graduates and having all the instructors, all the supporters, sponsors to be recognized at the end of the program. Sorry, I know that I was talking very fast, but for the time, I think I finished with this. Thank you very much. And I believe that the questions will be at the end. Thank you very much.